I've bought all the Eevee heroes that I can right now, so you can't turn around and say, J-Love, you're pumping the market, because I already bought them all, and maybe I am.
He's a monster.
Oh. Aha, just kidding. I'm not here to call out J-Love. I like the video a lot, and everybody should watch it too. It's a good video. I just want to add some stuff to it from the U.S. perspective, and, you know, if someone who collects also Japanese cards. Hey, I'm not dead. I'm alive right here. You know, fingers attached, my brain's still working, everything. I appreciate everybody who reached out to me. It's the work schedule, the sleep schedule, having to stay flexible, get that paper, get that money, get that grind. I'm sure everybody here is well aware of that. I appreciate everybody who reached out. No, the last video didn't kill me or anything. It's actually a really well-received video, and it did good. I appreciate everybody who cared, though, and reached out. So, J-Love, he put out a video talking about Eevee's Heroes, talking about some of the cool stuff that's been going on with that, and he brings up a lot of good points, a lot of good things that I personally want to add to, where I can actually prove that some people are not really as into Japanese cards as they say they are, or some people are not really into them for the same reasons that some people say. I do think this video that J-Love put out is going to affect some things. I do think it's going to affect how some people look at Eevee's Heroes, and honestly, I would not be too surprised if some of the content creators hopped on that train, fucking Fortnite danced over here, and tried to get their views back up too, because as we can all see, Eevees get views.
Eevee Heroes is objectively the best modern booster box released in the last 3 years. Whether it's English sets or Japanese sets, nothing comes close to Eevee Heroes. And while you bozos were all distracted with Evolving Skies for the last 2 to 3 months, seriously, just type Evolving Skies into YouTube. There's like 20, 30 videos talking about the same reprint.
Hey, get mad if you want. That's 100% true. Fucking YouTuber after YouTuber talking about nothing but Evolving Skies over and over again. The reprint, the speculation, the lack of reprint, just over and over again. You could type in that stuff and it's not even a fucking lie. Straight up though, why are people talking about it so much for Evolving Skies? It affects the cost of the actual cards that are in that. Remember all those alt art lists where these top 10 most expensive alt arts, all that good stuff, even though some of those lists were just straight up wrong. Almost every single one of them had cards from Evolving Skies, and they're multiple. Usually like about half the list was Evolving Skies, so of course it's going to affect that. Of course it's going to affect their views and their money and the boxes that they've invested in, right?
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No, 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 no.
Eevee Heroes was doing some absolute things. You're probably wondering why I didn't speak about it earlier before it got real crazy. I'm not your f***ing dad. I'm not going to tell you what to buy. I'm just going to tell you what's happening.
Cuts to like the alternate bad ending where J-Love is like selling packs on whatnot for $20 each from Eevee's Heroes since he bought all the boxes he could.
If you don't own an Umbreon VMAX Hyper Rare special art from Eevee Heroes, I got some bad news for you. You're probably never going to own this unless you cough up some serious cash. We are looking at a buy list from Japan, and I find these a little bit more reliable than eBay Last Sold. Danny Phantom. Dude loves the numbers. He made videos basically every second day talking about hit rates. He made this video talking about Eevee Heroes cards, and I thought it was a load of baloney because he was just looking at last eBay sold in the US.
So that's essentially where this video is coming from and why he's making it. So he's not wrong. I like Danny Phantom a good little bit, but that's completely true. He does make a lot of videos about prices and numbers and things like that. And I also found it to be in very bad taste, the one that he did about Eevee's Heroes, since he was going based off eBay sells and whatnot. And a lot of people, especially card experts, like to do that, where they just go on fucking eBay and they type out the card number and they're like, oh, look, these ones have sold for this much. This must be what the card goes for now, without actually checking the homeland, the motherland of Japan, on where they actually come from and what stores are willing to buy and sell for there, because sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. But I mean, if you're going to check anywhere and you're going to talk about Japanese cards, shouldn't you check, I don't know, Japan? Shouldn't that be the place where you check for that stuff? And Eevee's Heroes, Eeveelutions likes to get lots of views and clicks, and everybody likes to talk about that stuff, right? But it's really funny because J-Love's going to start talking about this Umbreon VMAX, basically how that price creeped all the way up to what it is now. It's very expensive, by the way, and nobody really has noticed or talked about it because everybody was so hyper-focused, as he fucking said, on Evolving Skies. It's just a really funny observation.
There was one nice little nugget of information, which was how many was sold. So the amount over the last like 10 months. And for Umbreon VMAX, I think it was like 120, which is nothing. And that's why I think that sample size is way too small.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that sample size. That is way too small. So if anyone's ever taken a statistics, oh God, Jesus, I need to take an English class. If anyone's ever taken a statistics class, the first thing whenever you're making graphs and stuff like this is there's 3 big things that you need to look out for. So you can make a point graph with anything like that, right? And kind of show things. The first thing is correlation and trend. It's going to be like, you know, the ups and downs when you're actually putting the points and values of the stuff in there, right? And it's going to show whether things are going up, down, or you have like a consistent level agreements upon stuff, right, between everybody who you've sampled. The next one is going to be sample size. You can't really have like this big of a graph with like 3 people on it, 4 people, and in the case of Pokemon cards, which sells, you know, hundreds and thousands to millions of units, right, you actually have to have a large sample size for that. And 100 for, you know, the possible tens to hundreds of thousands of Umbreon VMAXs that could exist, right? That's not really a good sample for the sales and movements, because I guarantee they move constantly. So I get that. We need a little bit more data to actually show that stuff, or we're just going to go based off of eBay sales. In fact, that's the big problem with eBay sales, is that people are making all these crazy assumptions off of 1 or 2 sales, which could be affected by literally anything. Someone could have bought a card for more, and, you know, maybe they're not thinking very well. Maybe they got a fucking bonus. Maybe they're OnlyFans girl they always give money to. Maybe she's off the web and they just have a ton of extra free cash. They're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna buy a Pokemon card, right? Anything can happen with that stuff, so that's not a good sample indicator. And then third of all, you gotta be on the lookout for outliers. So say everything is just selling for like $600-700, right? And then all of a sudden you got one that shoots way up to the top and it's $2,000. That's an outlier. That's something that does not show anything that was done by a random external factor or somebody of their own free will just acting on their own stuff. It's not really setting the trend for everybody as a whole. It doesn't represent the graph, and you gotta take that out whenever you're, you know, calculating the data or anything like that. There you go, fucking statistics in a nutshell.
And the prices that the cards were selling for is pretty unreliable. This is way more reliable. This is what a Japanese store will say, I will buy this card from you for this much. And back in March, they were saying, I will buy Umbreon VMAX, Hyper Rare, Special Art, SR, 44,000 yen.
Oh yeah, this stuff right here, baby. This is the tried and true way to tell the actual prices and trends of cards going on in the motherland of Japan, which is going to set the actual trends that you're going to see on eBay and what all these YouTubers and hypebeasts are going to go for, right? Which cards are getting their dick sucked the most, which cards are getting their nutsack rubbed and all that. And it's going to come from these nice sites right here. These are all kind of one and the same. I use a completely different store with a completely different list, but these prices are roughly matching. I think 1 or 2, maybe a little up, a little down here somewhere. Depends on what the actual store needs. But you get the idea. Same fucking list, same fucking gold, all that good stuff. So these are going to be the buy prices. Now, when you're looking at what these cards sell for, I've heard on average you can add about 20 to 30% depending on how good the card is and how well it's selling. Obviously, some stores are going to have some discrepancies, this, that, yada, yada, but that's typically what you can expect. Think of it like GameStop. You fucking go in there with your binder, you slide them some cards, well, bam, you get your cash. It's your money. You need it now.
So this one's from April, and we still haven't hit the crazy mark. Oh, we're looking at some waifus now. Not bad, eh? You can see Marnie from Shield, 45,000 yen. I don't have that card. Cope. It's always special art. Special arts are the best kind of cards. And that's why Eevee Heroes was so good. It was because it just literally was special arts. There was like 2 bad cards. It was Gordy and Gordy Hyper Rare.
Dude, I really do wish Gordy was releasing another set other than Eevee's Heroes. I swear, because that card gets a lot of shitty treatment just because it's released next to the Eeveelutions. It's a good card. It's nice art. It's not a very good playable card, but I mean, the art's fantastic. And honestly, Gordy, the character, is a fucking Chad, dude. That dude's a hefty lad. That dude's a big boy. That dude can move. Look at this fucking double backflip this guy does. And dude, all the girls, all the ladies in Sword and Shield want this guy. Even Clara, man. Even Clara right there. Oh my God, Gordy. Woo! That, I wish he was releasing another set. I really do. Homie gets way too much shit for being a good card.
Look at it on the 9th of May. This is like 11 days ago, dude. 11 days ago, dude. 70,000 yen is the buy price for Umbreon. It's just rocketed. It's getting out of hand. At this point, it's basically the most expensive modern card. I can't think of any other card. I'm thinking about Charizard from Champion's Path. I can't think of any other modern card that is worth close to 700, 800 USD.
Yeah, nothing fictional being stated here. All this stuff has been happening. It's been a slow uptick since February, March timeframe. And I mean, all the Eeveelution special arts have been going up in value just slowly but surely. You think that'd make really great content for a lot of people. You think that'd be something that a lot of content creators would be looking at. All the twice-baked Jakes and all the Pokerevs, they'd be looking at this stuff with like their fucking wallets and their Scrooge McDuck eyes just ablaze right there. Just looking and seeing at these card prices going up, because that's something to talk about. Prices galore, prices for days, all this stuff, right? You think somebody'd be talking about it. You think for sure, because I mean, this fucking outclasses anything Evolving Skies is doing. Weird. Kind of weird that no one has talked about this stuff before. It's almost like something else is going on, and people would rather talk about Evolving Skies than Eevee's Heroes. Really weird. I wonder if this is something that's happened before, and I wonder if this is something that's being done kind of intentionally, or if it's something that, you know, they just don't really care about for another reason. I'm sure this will come into play later. I'm sure something will be stated about this.
The only way to get this is from that, and that's a A VMAX Evolution, that is a one-of-a-kind card. It's ultra limited because the gym set ain't coming back. 13,000 yen. Even though the price is probably at now, it is still really good. And I think it's probably at about 15, 16,000 yen. So let's say about 180, 200 USD. Like, come on, man. And I'm full disclosure, I have like 4 or 5 of those. So now's the time. Come on, pump it up. Okay, enough of that. We're at the $1,000 mark. 4 digits for a modern card. 100,000 yen. If you don't have this card yet, unless you spend some serious cash, it is just not happening. It's astounding. It does and it doesn't surprise me. Eevee Heroes reprinted in June. So there was wave 1, which came out in May. Then it reprinted like June, July, and some more gym sets came out. And then it reprinted again in September. I know that you could get it from the Pokemon Center Japan because a friend of mine bought me some. And then it reprinted in December of 2021. This is like a bookmark. We're gonna chronicle this so that we know this forever. In December of 2021, it restocked on websites that shipped internationally, and it sat there for a week.
Man, this time frame that's going on right here is fucking hilarious. I'll go ahead and say it. J-Love's a nice guy YouTuber. He's not really going to say it. He understands what's happening. He'll say what he has to, but I'll say it. I'm the dickhead. What was happening in May, June, and September, why these boxes were kind of just flying off the shelves, bro, that was prime time scalping time right there. That's when people were going and buying boxes and doing breaks for $15 to $20 in Eevee's Hero Pack, man. That's when you were seeing Eevee Heroes boxes selling for $160, $170 a box for a brand new set. No shit. That stuff was scalped to the fucking heavens, and people were selling it left and right. They were selling the chase cards. They were selling this. They were selling that. At that time frame, I do think Umbreon was like an $800 card when it first dropped. It was expensive as hell, and it really discouraged people from getting that stuff. Now, December came around, and that's when a couple of things happened. One, VMAX Climax was released around that time frame. It was the holiday set, and people were enjoying the fuck out of that set because of all the character cards, all the full art trainers, all that good stuff that was happening there. Basically, Santa's fucking knapsack full of all these beautiful cards in that set. Secondly, this is around the time frame because that's when prices for Japanese boxes started dropping. This is around the time frame that Japan started printing the shit out of sets. Have you noticed for like Starbirth and Time Gazer and Space Juggler and Battle Region and all these things that the prices in the boxes are actually very affordable? That's not an accident. People didn't change their spending habits and stuff didn't change. Pokemon themselves are now printing more boxes to meet demand. That's what's going on there. Basically, there's so much product, it can't be scalped because they can just go directly to the source and get that stuff. And it's funny that when box prices started going down, Eevee's Heroes sat for a little bit. It's almost like the hype and the Western design for all that stuff. All the Westerners that were going after this set were really only going after it for another fucking reason. That's so weird. I wonder what that reason could possibly be.
Only the English one, I doubt will get us anywhere close to this considering how much they print Evolving Skies. You guys always talking, will they, won't they, will they, won't they on Evolving Skies. The only person that knows is the Pokemon Company, and when they decide they want to print it, they're going to print it. And there's nothing you can do about it. So if you're one of those people that's like stockpiling Evolving Skies, blisters, ETBs, will they, won't they, for the price you could have paid for an Evolving Skies ETB back in what, March? You could have just bought a special art. You actually would have known exactly what you were going to get. You could have bought a special art. Yes, I do realize they are way more expensive than the Evolving Skies cards, and that's because there's just less of them, and they look better, and they're way better. Like, have you seen a Japanese special art compared to an English one? It's night and day. Don't bother with the Evolving Skies ones. I don't know why you guys, I actually don't know why people were going crazy over Evolving Skies while this was happening.
He's out of line. But he's right.
Well, because, J-Love, unfortunately what you're describing is someone who actually likes Pokemon cards for something other than money value. See, people who actually like that Umbreon card appreciate it for not only the value, but for the art, for the actual Pokemon itself, for the artist time and energy they put in the card. It's appreciated for so much more than just money and value. And honestly, it kind of goes to show right now with the value of this card being up and nobody really talking about it, that's something that's kind of escaped people's mind. And I want to kind of talk about where this is going and what's actually happening here. See, I've experienced this before. This whole thing that J-Love is experiencing right here with the modern evolutions from Eevee's Heroes, I've experienced the same thing somewhere else. And this is actually why I wanted to talk about it. So let me tell you where I've experienced this. Japanese full art supporters. So remember those waifu cards that OK J Love was talking about? Remember the Marnie, how it was fetching for roughly like $450, $500, stuff like that? That's not even as bad as it gets. Some of the Sun and Moon cards in the Best of XY, if you haven't got some of those are also gone on the Japanese side of the house. Some of those are crazy expensive. I have a lot of these cards. It's not me trying to flex. I actually bought a lot of these cards before the boom because honestly, back in the day, a lot of these cards in Japanese used to be the cheaper option. The English counterparts, for most of them that have English counterparts, were actually more expensive. I would say this changed roughly in January 2021 when certain YouTubers started talking about full art trainers. There's argument that they hopped on the trail end of them going up. That's possible. But I noticed a large uptick of sales and buys whenever they started actually talking about them. For example, Sightseer went from like an $80 card to like $600. And then, I mean, look at Hex Maniac and N over in Best of XY. If you don't have those cards, you are boned. Fucking Marnie, like, that's going to be Lily from Sun and Moon. And Lily cards have always been expensive. But they were not quite as expensive as they got when this boom happened, when people actually started hyping those up. Now, what's funny about this is these cards are extremely expensive, but nobody talks about them. Not one person is out there actually going and talking about them, trying to get these cards, other than very specific collectors. Your big YouTubers that like talking about money? Nope. Not one person talking about, guys, have you noticed Japanese full art trainers are kind of pricey? That's like kind of crazy. Maybe we should like get on that stuff. No, of course not. They'd rather talk about Evolving Skies or like English full art trainers or talk about the top 10 most expensive alt arts. You know why? Because that's content. A lot of these people don't really care about the boxes or the cards, and it's very obvious with how they talk about them. The big thing they care about is content, so they're milking the content. They're milking the Evolving Skies reprint hype. They're milking the alt arts. They're milking the evolutions. They're milking this. They're milking that. And they're not really that convicted to anything that they're talking about with any of that other stuff. So I guarantee what's going to happen now that J-Love has made this video, give it a week or two, maybe not even that. Give it a little bit of time. Someone's going to come out, like a bigger YouTuber. I'm not going to say who. I don't know who it's going to be. It's a fucking mystery who they're talking about. I don't know. Yeah, it could be anybody. But somebody's going to come out and they're going to start talking about the Japanese Eevee Heroes prices as well. Someone's going to start talking about it the second this video dropped, and it's going to be something that's going to be, you know, another hype train that people are going to hop on. It's going to be something like, whoa, the Japanese market is crazy, guys. Whoa! Because it happened with full art trainers. The full art trainers still have their price. They're still valuable, but nobody talks about them. None of these money pages, none of these people, because honestly, people want to go like, oh, it's the money that people like. It's the money. Pokemon's just a money cash cow for these guys. They just see product and cards that no. It's not that at all. It's content. It's content. They want to milk this shit for views. They know that some other stuff is happening. Some of them do anyway. And some of them want to just, dude, it's so much easier for them to just get a box of Evolving Skies and talk about the speculation around it as opposed to actually talk about Eevee's heroes and keep up with prices and things like that. That's like what Danny Phantom kind of does. He just doesn't really do it all the way through. Nothing against him. That's nothing really that bad. But these guys do not fucking care about the actual prices for stuff. They do not care about the Pokemon cards. They do not even care what the fuck's they're opening in front of them. And that's very obvious.
If you want to master set this, buy the most expensive card first. Don't worry about the other ones. There's a critical error that I see collectors make over and over again, and I'm just telling you now again to warn you. This is from my Instagram. This was me flexing on everybody. How nice is this card? Seriously, cannot get enough of it. I literally flexed on him. I had to stun on him.
And my mama said I would never amount to anything. Look at that. I'm on a J-Love video right fucking there. There's me. There's my comment right there telling him, oh man, stop flexing so hard, big dog. Whoa, I know you're wearing a tank top today, bro, but put those guns away. Jeez, dude. I know you got Umbreon. Fuck.
Which is why now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a video talking about it. Whichever way it goes, I can't control it. But you need to understand that this is independent. It's independent. It's independent of Evolving Skies. Whatever Evolving Skies does, it doesn't impact Eevee Heroes. Eevee Heroes is his own little beast. It's significantly more limited. Japanese collectors are going bonkers over it just as hard as international collectors are going for it. But if you want to get on this set, you missed the boat. Prepare to pay. I do not see these prices coming down unless Pokemon becomes unpopular, which is just not going to happen.
Oh yeah, Pokemon is king. That shit ain't going nowhere, king. Ain't nobody taking that stuff down. It's so popular. But to answer your question why people would rather push Evolving Skies over the valuable and exclusive Eevee's Heroes, it's because they don't care. It's all for views and content. The cards are just secondary. It's just something that they can put in a thumbnail and have like a big old gaping mouth at. They can be like, whoa, what's happening with that? And honestly, they don't really care to track Japanese card prices. It's far easier for someone to grab a Evolving Skies booster box, at least in the United States or anything like that, and just ride that hype train of like, whoa, do you think there's going to be a reprint? I think there's going to be a reprint. What's this reprint going to do to your value of your cards? Whoa, what's it going to affect for your PSA 10 cards? Oh my God, whoa. What's it? It's just so much easier to do that than to actually keep track of prices and things like that for a set they don't even really care about anyway. I've seen so many people, whenever they're selling cards to afford Astral Radiance or anything like that, they dump their Japanese cards first, especially Eevee's Heroes. I've seen that a lot, where people are moving it just to fund other stuff. I'm not saying anything about you if you're doing it. I'm just saying I've seen people do it, because people actually like their English cards a lot more when it comes to that stuff, at least in my knowledge from what I've seen. And honestly, it's just far easier for people to just pretend they like stuff. I mean, Ghosts from the Past 2, people opening up, like Pokemon pages, opening up Yu-Gi-Oh! For the first time. And it's like, gee, I wonder why you're doing that. Can't be because it's the hot new set and all that stuff. And watch, all these Dark Magician girls and all these Blue Eyes White Dragons getting pulled, man, they're going to be sold immediately. They do not care about that stuff. It's just views. It's clout, J-Love. Come on. Everyone knows that stuff. Everybody knows that Eevee's Heroes, if people truly cared about it and they were watching these prices, there'd be more videos about this stuff other than just yours. I've already lived this life with Japanese full art trainers. I've already seen this stuff. You think more people would talk about $1,000 cards over in Japan, but I guess they're not really that worried about it, right? It's so much easier to just focus on the English side of the house, all the EX stuff, all the Evolving Skies, all those things, because it's easy to get views and clout that way. And when it comes down to it, who really cares what you're opening in front of you, am I right? Not when those sweet views and money is rolling in. Like I said, people would care more about it. The Umbreon VMAX, it'd be in more thumbnails, and there'd be more Japanese full art trainers in the thumbnails too. I'm just saying. That's all I got. Hope you see where I'm coming from. Not attacking anybody in particular, and if you were doing what you like, who really cares what the fuck I think? I'm just telling you why people are hyping up Evolving Skies, as opposed to going after what you would expect from these money hype beast pages. They don't really care. It's just views, clout, and whatever's in front of them is just a fucking filler. Have a good one, virgins. See you later.